Hey going brothers, I had been banned from this channel for quite a long time. I repeated what the general surgeon said in Florida about a certain medication, and I was only quoting what he said, and you can't talk about anything. We are so badly bunged up the butthole for what we can actually say about anything regarding that particular topic, which I can't even talk about now. It's ridiculous. Anyway, my brother, who's in the kitchen somewhere.
Over here, bro.
There he goes.
Doing the dishes.
Yep. He's my kitchen bitch. He came from Wellington. He quit his job. He handed his resignation because why'd you do that, bro?
Just had enough of the old corporate life, bro. But I was being owned by the company.
Yeah. Okay.
More and more so, and I just wanted to complete another change. They were paying me good money, but I've had enough.
Were you saving any of your good money while you were working?
Yeah, saving a bit. Not enough, but saving a bit, yeah.
Yeah, because you still don't have a car, do you?
I need to buy a car next.
Yeah, so on that note, if anybody is looking around, probably, I reckon, a good value car for around 4 or 5 grand, then probably I would say a Toyota Corolla or a Mazda would be good. But what do you guys reckon for that sort of money? Something that's not going to crap out. He wants to go Nissan, but I'm actually working on a Nissan right now for a young fella that we're trying to fix up, and some Nissans are good, some aren't. Anyway, getting down to it, so yeah, I'm back, and I also was having a break for my own mental health as well. I was going through the grieving process of our nephew Mikhail that Tristan and I lost last year, who drowned, and I almost lost my son who tried to save him, and he nearly drowned too. He's doing okay, my son, right now. He's been through a hard time. Spoke to him this morning, bro. I'm thinking of going and seeing him. He's down in Fiordland kayak guiding for Milford Adventures, I think they call themselves. My daughter, Dayla, she's working as an outdoor education teacher in Wanaka. And my daughter, Hannah, I don't know where she is. She'd be at some mission. All my kids are doing missions around the place, which is cool. Anyway, my brother has come here because he's wanting a new change in life, and I've given him Damo's fuddy. Damo moved out yesterday. Did you say goodbye to Damo yesterday? This is the last day yesterday.
You see him, eh?
He was here last night.
Oh, right.
He put his mattress on the roof and everything. It was the last day for Damo being here. Damo left here in a really good space. He came here a year ago. He leaves clean and just smashing it out. So, job done. So now that little room is available to my brother, who's getting back on his feet. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about anxiety today. My brother and I both have different types of anxiety. I have what I call thought-driven anxiety, which means I'll think of something and it will make me anxious. And it could be anything like, as an example, what's a really good example of getting really anxious? Generally, it's about something to do with people, but it's also sometimes situations where my life's in danger. I think that's more of a natural one. I'm just trying to think of one where someone says something which it makes me anxious. Okay, one of my subscribers, he's actually a guy, I just don't understand what's going on with him. He wrote to me a message on Facebook, because I gave him my personal Facebook one, which I don't normally do, and he wrote, I looked the other night, I was going to bed, it said, stop being a YouTube leech, grow some balls and get a job, I'm fucking out of here. And then I wrote question mark back, and then he deleted his message after I already read it. That made me feel anxious. I thought, just saying to my brother, for the amount of work that I do, I was up this morning, what time this morning, bro? 5 a.m. To edit the fishing video from the fishing I did yesterday. And I have had a break from YouTube, but I was up at 5 a.m. this morning, and I won't finish tonight, and I'll make another one today. Being a YouTuber is the hardest work. It costs you mentally, emotionally. You ask big YouTubers, like I won't mention any names, but other guys that are in the same field to me, what's happened to their relationships with their wives or their partners. It puts huge pressure. We generally end up alone because we're working such long hours. My girlfriend, I think she just thinks one of the reasons that she bailed on me is because just too much work. And could you not blame a woman for leaving you? Because relationships require time and energy, and you're putting your time and energy into creating content. So that comment caused me anxiety, and I went to bed and I thought about it for probably, honestly, for about half an hour. Good, maybe not quite half an hour, almost a good 20 minutes. I was thinking about it, and I could feel myself getting anxious. And then I corrected myself. Oh, what the hell are you worrying about what this guy thinks? I thought, this guy must be unwell, or this this guy's actually sent me stuff. He sent me stuff from Canada. He sent me a food parcel once with a whole really cool stuff in it. Some crumb fish and all this different stuff. So I thought this person must be seeing something, and maybe they're not happy in their own job. Maybe they're not making their passion their work, and who knows. And then I started trying to justify something or find a way to not feel anxious, and I calm myself down. But what really worked for me the most was just letting it drift away like a leaf on the top of a river and breathing deeply and just letting it go away, because what he says and thinks about me does not affect my brother, the people I look after around me in my community, only if I let it affect me. So that's my type of anxiety. Tristan has another really debilitating anxiety, which just comes for no reason at all, eh, bro?
Yep, it does. Yep, nothing in particular brings it on. No thought pattern brings it on. It's hard to explain, but at the moment my anxiety level is very low. It's probably sitting at about a 2.
Well, what was it when you came here? You were saying it was up to an 8.
Yeah. When I misplaced my wallet.
I found this wallet. I jumped in my car and I drove to Mapua, and I went to a restaurant. I bought him a coffee the other day. I shared him a coffee, but I gave him the $10, but it was $10.50. So he took 50 cents out of his own wallet and gave him that. So I didn't really shout him a coffee in the end. I contributed a coffee, or he did, but then he left his wallet on the bar. That's where they found it. Yeah. So he got really anxious. I said, we'll find that. So that's actually thought provoked anxiety. That's not what you're talking about.
Right.
That's thought. You had a thought. So
I was already in an anxious state before it happened, though. Just before I even was lost.
You've been anxious a lot of the time. You've been telling me that his anxiety was around a 7 or an 8 and up high. And the last 3 or 4 days, he's been in the garden working. He went away for a day, a drive and stuff, and did stuff. And I think also the food that you're eating has changed a lot, because he came here quite obese, and he's already lost
about 4.5 kg. 4.5.
He had a real big tummy.
Yeah, I was 83.5 when I came here, and I'm about 78.5 now.
Yeah, but you were struggling to do things, like he was carrying this excess weight, and so we changed the diet, and he's really stuck to it really well. I'd say 100% you stuck to it, haven't you, bro?
Yeah.
Fair play to him. He's got rid of all the rubbish, and so his weight's going down, and that's not... the weight isn't really the factor, it's what the food does to you. When you eat rubbish food, it really affects your mental state, 100%. So just getting high nutrition, lots of leafy green vegetables, good fruits, good grains, fish. I went out fishing yesterday. We've got lots of fish. I'm going to shoot a rabbit and give him some lean cuts of... Oh, they eat vegetarian, eh? Do you eat that sort of meat?
A little bit, bro.
It's a little bit of chicken. Well, rabbit's pretty lean. So we're really working on that. And now your anxiety's a 2, did you say?
Yeah, about a 2. And also one thing that to mention is being around really good people.
Yeah.
I've been around really good people since I've been here. I've had some good social situations, and just people that really appreciate who I am, which is really cool, and really appreciate what I've done, and I think it's a pretty major step.
Yeah.
So the support has been incredible.
That's great.
And it's been surrounded by lovely people. Makes a huge difference.
Such a cool thing to hear, bro, because they're all my friends.
Yeah.
It's my support network's become his support network.
And some other people I know as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of my friends, or 2 of my friends, Margaret, my nurse, and also Hilary, who's my friend, they have now employed Tristan to work at the homestead in Wakefield. And Tristan's the only man there. So he's surrounded by women. And he's found his new calling, he told me the other day. I found my new calling, bro. I'm working with just women. And it'll be good for them too, because you need the balance.
Yeah, totally.
A whole bunch of hens without a cock in the place,
Totally.
A rooster. Did I say cock? So that's something that's going really well. I'm really pleased to see him. One thing about my brothers is he has a lot of compassion. He really cares about me, and he's showed me a lot of compassion. And last year when I was really, really crook, I was wanting to look after my nephew Mikhail, and Mikhail was supposed to come and stay here, and he was at my parents' place, and my brother made an executive decision to not have him come here. And because I wasn't that well at the time to look after him. I'm well now, that's another story. But that there was something my brother stepped up and and sort of took control of the situation, which was really good to see him being competent and taking control of the situation out of compassion for me.
Yeah.
So we come from a dysfunctional family, I think it's fair to say, without painting it worse than it is. And I won't go into the personal details, but we both obviously share the same father, and we both came out completely different. Tristan is the opposite end of the spectrum to me. He often has what I call an external locus of control, where I have an internal locus of control. And I'm trying to teach him the internal locus of control. And I'm going to do a video about that in depth, what that actually means. But in a summary, it means if something's going on, if you're external, rather than deal with it, you look for a distraction or something outside. If you've got internal, then you take control of it yourself. But it's a bit more complex than that. His internal locus is now starting to swing around more to the that's where he's headed now. But he also did take control from the very beginning by giving up his job and making a huge transition in his life to come and live with me. And it's not easy living with me because I'm quite a hard ass. I'm hard about everything. You've got to work. He only has to do a couple of hours in the garden and with the dogs a day. He doesn't have to pay anything to be here, and I cover all his food. If he wants something extra, he can buy it himself, but and all his power and his gas, and so I've got it covered. But for that in return, from just Monday to Friday, he's got to do 2 hours, which is actually beneficial to him, and I believe that's also why your anxiety's getting less, because you've got that sort of purpose, and that's something which you've done really well too, bro. Like you've learned something new. He started off really terrible because he's not the best listener in the world, but he's actually getting better at it, and he's now doing a really he's a real value to the place because the dogs are getting a walk, the garden's getting watered. Today we've just done a patch which we're going to regrow.
The dog's getting very fond of me. Your dogs are. They're something like me.
Well, that means I'm about to go away soon on a mission. You can look after them. Yay! Haven't been able to do that for a long time.
Yep.
So, Tristan, just in a nutshell, to people out there that have anxiety, this is not my Claytallstories channel. This is another channel I've created for mostly men's mental health, and helping men with finding solutions for problems. What would you offer to men that do suffer anxiety that has worked for you? Because everybody's got something different. I've got a mate who says that going hunting and just doing stuff all the time works for him. But what have you found has lowered your anxiety?
Well, I think the first thing if you can, is try to identify what's causing it.
The causation.
Yeah.
Totally.
Once you've done that, you've worked that out.
Yeah.
Then you need to look at. I think for a lot of things it's about balance.
Yeah, right.
I had extreme imbalance. I had a very well-paying job in Wellington.
Yep.
Where I sat in the car and drove around all day.
Yeah.
Selling product.
Yeah.
Which did pretty well at, and
that's pretty unbalanced though.
Oh, totally. So, it was good for a while. It served a purpose.
How long did you do that job for?
About 18 years. As I was raising kids.
Yeah.
4 kids. And the moment my youngest turned 18 back in September, I made a decision then.
Yeah. So you're doing it basically to raise your family.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I was looking at coming here in October, but I delayed things a bit. For family reasons again.
You don't need to go into your personal reasons,
but
what we're trying to ascertain though, what come up here and speak clearly, bro. It's just give me some points. The first one you've said is what? Just
identify. If you can identify, because everyone's different.
Yeah.
And so that's a hard one. Once you can identify that, then you need to find what you need to deal with that anxiety.
Right.
And for me, it's definitely physical activity. It's definitely a good a wide social network.
Yep.
A mixture of different people.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, playing guitar is a big part of it.
So does guitar help you with your anxiety?
Absolutely. Yeah. And
so could you change that for other people who don't play guitar? Would it be their passion? What it is that they do their passion?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So
the points are so far is identify the causation.
Yeah.
You said movement, like exercise.
Totally. Social contact.
Then your passion. Could we add diet to that?
Yeah. Sure.
Is diet making a difference?
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah.
Because he had a completely rubbish diet before. He says it's no. Well, let's just look at that. He ate no leafy greens regularly every day. The only thing he occasionally had was a bit of. So many other men are the same. A bit of spinach he buy from the supermarket occasionally, and that was it. So he wasn't getting his potassium, he wasn't getting his magnesium, which would have mean your sleep to be crap too.
I was taking a magnesium supplement. But yeah.
So see, taking a magnesium supplement is not the same as getting it from a plant.
Yeah, right.
You get such better from plants. So changing the diet. So there's a few points. What else anything you could add to that?
I think you do need some downtime where you maybe, not necessarily meditation, but you do need to have maybe even half an hour or 45 minutes where you have total time just by yourself.
Yeah.
In your own environment, where no one's coming to that environment.
Yeah.
If you make that happen, it's not easy to do it in a busy world where there's things happening all around you. But if you do that, then you'll sit and you'll chill and you'll breathe better, and you just give it half an hour, that total relaxation. And when you finish that, when you come out of it, you're ready for the next thing. But I think you do need to stop your anxiety. You do need. I need at least half an hour a day where I'm just completely chilling. That's what I do in the evening. Is I just chill.
Is that what you're doing it there?
I'm not on my phone. I'm just chilling. It's like meditation, and it works. And
is it like a spiritual thing?
Yes, it's a spiritual thing. And I come in and it's a thing about loving yourself and going, actually, you know what? You're a miracle. The chance of being born is 1 in 20 trillion, whatever it is. And you sit there, and it's a bit of a self-love thing. It's kind of be cool. And
I think it's 1 in 400 trillion, but you were close.
Whatever. Yeah, exactly.
That's great. So
that's what I do. That's what I do every night.
That little room's good for that, eh?
Yeah, no, I have to do that. I do that every night, and I do it anywhere between 8:30 and maybe as late as 10 o'clock. And
okay, the other thing that you've got to start doing is making sure you're proactive at eating your food around 6 o'clock and not doing what you did last night, missing your meal and then stuffing food into your mouth late at night and also making excuses to yourself to that. Be proactive at get your eating times right, because you'll sleep better. Hey, thanks, bro, for sharing that. Appreciate it.
Hope it's some help.
Yeah, it's not easy to talk about mental health as men. We don't do it very well, and it's probably the first time Tristan's actually spoken about it, but it's also good for him. And 75% of the population have levels of anxiety, so it's nothing new.
Yeah.
It's a debilitating condition, and whether it's thought-driven or it's just something that you have, it's something that you can always make better. And I hope Tristan's points have helped you. Hey, that's the Bro Check Club. We're back, and good to be back. You'll be seeing my bro around more, and if you've got anything to add to that below that would be of use to people suffering anxiety that works for you. One thing I want to end up by saying is that medication, and I'm not a doctor, and this is a disclaimer, this is only opinion, but I know a lot of people that have used medication for anxiety, and I believe, from my own opinion, it's only opinion, that medication is only good for a short-term solution if the anxiety is so high that you're not getting sleep or that you're suffering so much. But I think it's really critical to get to the causation and get off the anxiety medication as quickly as you can. I have a family member, I won't say, who's very close to me, and now he's got a debilitating cognitive, well, it's actually a motor school thing, which I believe came from the overuse of anti-anxiety medication. Anti-anxiety medication can actually cause you more anxiety in the long run, because it's fucking with a really critical part of your whole system here, your pineal gland and everything that works. Doing the steps, something along the line my brother said, would be a much more healthier thing in the end. I do think medications have a place short term, whether it's depression or anxiety, but always getting to causation and dealing with that is much better, because all medication does is it puts a sticking plaster over one place, but it doesn't get to the root problem underneath. Again, only my thoughts are not necessarily correct, but that's all I've got to go on as my past experience and what's worked for me and other people. Thanks, guys. Go steady, and we'll see you in the next Bro Check Club video. See you later. That's good, bro.